Why, hello, I'm Jeff,
And I'm Zach.
and this is Reviews in the Park. What movie are we doing again?
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, that one, that little movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Um, there were some really great things in it, and then there's some not great things in it.
Yeah.
We of course we aren't going to go too into depth on this because this isn't our spoilerific one.
You'll click on the link after the end of this video to see us go into more further detail.
Let's see. The Hulkbuster fight was of course amazing.
Yes.
It got right into the action at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The trailers, for being so bleak, the movie was surprisingly not quite as was not as bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very lighthearted, a lot more so than what the trailers made you think it was going to go.
Oh yeah, a lot more humor, which is exactly what you expect from Joss Whedon anyway.
True.
The twins.
Yes, what about the twins? Yes.
The twins, without giving away too much. What is it? Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yep. Who played Kick-Ass.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Olsen.
Mary-Kay and Ashley Olsen's younger and more talented sister.
And actually, they played husband and wife in Godzilla.
Yeah, now they're sister and brother.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, but they do a better. They have better chemistry in this movie than they do in Godzilla.
Well, they're also in the same room more often.
That's true.
Yeah.
That helps.
He isn't being mysteriously followed by Godzilla for the whole film.
Right.
They're really great in their roles. The roles are really well acted, really well written, really well portrayed, well costumed. Everything about the twins is just fantastic. There may be a little bit of hating on this opinion, but I would actually say that this Quicksilver is better than the one in Days of Future Past.
Strong words.
Yeah, he's definitely better than the Days of Future Past one. Just in my opinion. Days of Future Past, they did a pretty good representation of him.
Yeah.
But
this was a more serious take. He's
Yeah.
not as much of a jokester.
yeah,
And there were some really cool moments. I mean, powers-wise, I still think I like the time sequence in X-Men a little more, but as a character, I think,
I was a little disappointed that they didn't do more of that.
yeah, it was cool. But I think it kind of falls victim to the weight of this movie, that how many characters you have to do justice. And I think that kind of buckles in the weight of this movie. And what you and I both agree with is that it feels not fully packaged. There's a lot left out that would make this movie great, and there's a lot of setup for the next movies. And then also, I was talking to Zach earlier that you really need to watch the stuff before. This is not a movie that's designed for just someone to walk right in and enjoy. You're going to have so many questions, and for that reason, it's not the perfect movie that it could be. Like, if they found that right balance where you could just watch it and also cater to the other films, then that would have been great. But I don't think it successfully does that.
Yeah. For any of the people out there that watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, the episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right before this leads very well right into this film. But if you don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's just boom, action just jumps right into it. And I kind of think that that's a bit of a detractor, because you didn't have to do that in Winter Soldier.
Right.
And they did the same tie-in for Winter Soldier. Yeah, I think that it's almost better to have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deal with the aftermath rather than having them deal with the actual threat, like, head-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's probably Zach and I's biggest complaint with this movie. The action sequences are beautiful. Like, the first action sequence with this one shot that's continuous is one of the coolest things. It's like the first movie's one, but multiply that by 10.
Oh yeah, the one near the end in the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 10, and that's like the first minute of Avengers 2.
Yeah.
And
They do that several times in this film.
Right.
Which, I mean, I'm a huge fan of. But it kind of feels more like a gimmick in this. Yeah.
I think a big thing, again, considering, is there's a lot of CGI, and it's kind of still the same problem, I feel like, especially with the Iron Man movies, is we always are fighting robots. And, like, they're just like flies to these guys, and there's no real weight to the majority of who they're fighting.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Like, Winter Soldier's a lot more personal and cooler because it's not as much CGI villains, anyway.
But at the same time, the sheer number.
Yeah.
Like, ants are nothing compared to us. Like, they're incredibly fragile. We stomp on them, they die.
Right.
You can squish them between your fingers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, you get enough ants in a group.
It can be a problem.
Yeah, and, well, not only can they be a problem, but they can kill someone. It's just like mosquitoes.
Right.
So I think that it's kind of a strength in numbers battle at that point.
Okay. One thing that's really cool, that's a big plus in this movie, is finally Hawkeye gets something to do.
Oh, and not just Hawkeye, but Black Widow, too.
Black Widow, too.
We learned so much about them,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll talk about in the spoilers.
Right.
But, I mean, it's...
I think Joss, there's even a little joke in this movie about him being mind controlled in the first one.
Yeah.
And I think Joss felt really bad about what he did to Hawkeye's character in the first movie.
That's exactly what I thought, too.
So I was like, okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. I will make it up to you in this movie. And I think he did it really well. And there was a lot of surprises, especially with his character in particular. One of the big gripes, though, with having this, we feel like a lot of the movie was cut. Like, there's a lot of just out there stuff. Like, why does Tony already have all these suits from Iron Man, since we left him on Iron Man 3? All of a sudden, I mean, I like the relationship, but how all of a sudden Hulk and Black Widow are liking each other, which was never even hinted at before. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff that I didn't mind it, but I felt like needed a little meat to that for me to fully get it.
They kind of teased that in the trailers a little bit, that romance aspect. I didn't think that it came on too suddenly. I really felt like it was something that was brought on pretty organically. I mean,
in this movie, though, like none of the other ones, I never ever gotten the vibe that.
Well, I mean, they've only been in 2 together.
That's true, but like the last we knew, she was kind of seemed like she liked Cap.
Well, it seemed like she liked Hawkeye and
in Avengers, yeah.
And just keep in mind, all of these like complaints and gripes that we have, they would all be easily fixed by one thing:
more time.
Yeah, more time, and which really the extended edition of the film would probably fix. Which, I mean, Amazon said that there's going to be an extended version, and then they had to take that back and say, well, the special features haven't really been like announced yet, which I'm pretty sure was Disney saying, you got information that you did not know about,
Thank you,
that
Amazon.
you should not have known about. But if it's the director's cut, the 3.5-hour director's cut, I think that this movie is just going to be absolutely perfect. And honestly, it may be better than the first one.
Right.
But without it, it's not. It's to me, it's probably actually, while being still a great film that I do recommend that you see. I know I'm going to see it again up here in the next couple of days. I saw it in 3D yesterday, and I did the AMC double feature. And I think I've kind of discovered that 2 movies is a little too much movie for me. I don't know what it is, but for some odd reason, sitting there in a movie theater through 2 movies is a little exhausting. Which I never thought that I would say.
I think we're getting old.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think we talked as much without spoiling anything, so I think we should give us a little bit of a roundup of what we feel about Age of Ultron.
Overall, I thought that it was a good film. It was a decent film. The thing that it really needs is just more time. It really needs the extended cut, Disney.
Right.
I think I will have to give it 7.5 Hulkbusters out of 10.
I agree with that. Highly enjoyable film. Just could use a little bit extra touching, and I think it would be a perfect one.
Yep.
So that's it for Nerd Park today. I'm Jeff,
I'm Zach.
and we hope you enjoy our first video review. And be sure to check out our link below for our spoiler-filled review of Avengers: Age of Ultron.
As always, you can follow us on Facebook at Nerd Park. You can email us at nerdparkpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at NerdPark. Well, at Nerd Park Podcast, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, at Nerd Park
It's
Podcast.
new.
And on our Tumblr page, Nerd Park. And also, if there's any movies that you would like us to review,
Please put a comment.
Yeah, please put it in the comments. Of course, we're going to go see the big ones like Star Wars, Jurassic World, Ant-Man, Spectre. We're going to go see all those, and we're going to do reviews. You don't have to worry about those. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like if you want. And we'd also like to remind you that you can find our Nerd Park podcast, the original podcast, on SoundCloud until we get our own website. And we will have an upcoming Superhero Showdown podcast where the first fight will be Ant-Man versus Batman.
Ooh, that'll be a good one. All right, we'll see you then.
Bye!
Bye.